So I've been making a lot of Spider-Man graphics mod on my channel, not just because Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters, but also because you guys have been asking me to make Spider-Man graphics mod the most. Perhaps because the last Spider-Man that ever came out for PC was the Amazing Spider-Man, which was about 7 years ago. And so we're improving the good old Spider-Man games on PC to make them little modern with all the new shaders, RTGI, and texture mods such as skin mods and big texture mods such as the one that I make. And in this video I'll show you the project that I was working on for Spider-Man Web of Shadows that you can see running in the background. And to be fairly honest, if you were to tell somebody that this is the new Spider-Man title, they'd believe it because there is many ways to tell that this is actually the Spider-Man Web of Shadows from 2008. Now, I'm not saying that this game was any bad before, because it was probably one of the coolest games in 2008 because it had amazingly good reviews and one of the coolest and memorable intros of all time. Sure, if you look back in the old intro where Spider-Man was walking looking down, you'll find it kind of silly, but kicking this skateboard guy in the mid-air and playing as villain Spider-Man, these were pretty amazing and exciting. But keeping all the good things aside, comparing it to the other 2008 games, the mouse input kind of felt rough on PC, which is why the camera could not be moving smoothly. The graphics in this game look pretty plain and backdated. It feels like there is no shaders and literally no shadows when objects touching each other, aka ambient occlusion. And the textures were so low quality the road cracks looked like it was filled with fungus and the daytime never looked like day. And since I am going back to the game, I thought, hey, why not fix it all? So my first word was to make this game a bit cleaner, like the newer gen Spider-Man games. I wanted to look very clean and neat, so I did the roads again along with buildings and the other details while keeping it original. I also made two versions, one which you can use when you want to play as the new Spider-Man, and the other which is for playing as Miles Morales, which gives a different UI look as well. Now, I'm not an expert at making skin, though I'm an artist. I can only make cartoons, and if I were to create realistic skin texture for the mod project, it would turn out to be an absolute nightmare film. This is why I take the help of mod community, so I'm now using the Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man Advanced Suit made by ynsection, which you can download separately. Other than texture, what really spices up the game is Reshade and RTGI lighting, because the lighting and shader details looked very plain. I decided to add global illumination, and luckily it did work just fine. And with ambient occlusion, the geometry seems to have shadow look now, which really makes it look like it has a lot of shading on. Also, I have a new skybox mod and try to increase the clarity at the distance so that it looks like, it looks even more clean. One thing that I didn't feel like was necessary but I still added is a new lens flare, because I think a little bit of overlay effects such as this can make the game look cool, but you can always turn it off if you like. And that really is for today's game treatment. I don't know what you feel about these, so let me know in the comment section. And I personally think that, I like it. If I get enough time, might as well play the whole game because it is really cool. It had a lot of cool villains and boss fights, and I really like how the game is focused on more combat. And I think it was one of the only few Spider-Man games where you could swim, and it really was all about fighting, and I didn't feel like there is much of a quality story to be excited about, but fighting was nonetheless fun. And it was a big improvement from the previous games that had fixed a lot of things that people didn't like. And more I talk about this game, more I want a new Spider-Man game to come out for PC, because seriously, as a modder, I think I've met a lot of people on PC that want Spider-Man games on PC platform really bad. I mean, there is a huge fan base for Spider-Man games on PC, and I don't think it would be a good idea to forget about these fans. Each different people prefer each different platform, and for PC players, I think they totally deserve a new Spider-Man game. Considering even this Amazing Spider-Man 2 had plenty of players on PC. I know this was a very unpopular opinion, but seeing so many PC fans playing even up to this year, I just suddenly dropped. It just suddenly dropped into my mind. I said it. If you think that Spider-Man deserves to come on PC, then let me know in the comment section and let me know what you think about this graphics mod. Since I'm still not done with this yet, I'm still working on it and I'm gonna work a little bit to make this even more polished. But if you want to get the early access of this mod, you can surely get it from my Patreon and support me there if you want to, and get all the other mods as well. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you like it, subscribe, turn on the notification if you want to see the more new videos. Till then, see you later.